Hello everyone, I am Divya Bharati, Assistant Professor, Department of Management Studies, Rohini College of Engineering and Technology. We are now discussed about the subject as marketing management then from the Unit 4. The Unit 4 contains the topics as by buyer behavior. So it includes understanding how the industrial and consumer buyer behavior of buying the product and influencing factors of the buyer behavior, then models of buyer behavior, then how the online buyer behaviors and building and measuring the satisfaction level of customer, then customer relationship management, then acquisition and retaining and defection. So these are all the topics from the Unit 4. First we understand about industrial and consumer buyer behavior. So what do you mean by buyer behavior first? So definition of buyer behavior is the decision process and acts of people involved in buying and using the products. It can be it is the act of individual which are directly involved in making the decisions to spend their available resources like time, money, energy in obtaining and using goods and services. According to the Flip Kotler, he says that consumer behavior is the study of how people buy, what they buy, when they buy, and why they buy, and is also the process involved when individuals or groups select, purchase, use, or dispose of products, services, ideas, or experiences to satisfy the needs and desires. So that is overall we can understand the buyer behavior is very important for marketing the product and making a profit successfully. Satisfaction, we understand the satisfaction level is very important for making a successful business. So overall when the marketing in the marketing field, we can understand the buying behavior is the decision process of the people and also the buyer and the seller. So buyer or the buyer is also represented as a consumer also. The consumer is a way which an individual behaves or acts. The consumer is a person who purchases goods and service for his own personal needs. The next one is industrial buying behavior. Industrial buying behavior refers to the study of motives and actions of the influence and the industrial buyers while engaged in the purchasing of goods and services. So while making a purchase decision, increase in economy results into creation of demands for industrial goods and services. Industrial products involves raw materials, fabrication parts and material, installation of machinery, then operating suppliers and equipments. So the participants in the buyer behavior in the industry, buying industries: initiator, decider, influencers, buyer, gatekeeper, and the users. The next one is the major factors that influencing industrial buying behavior. So the factors we have influenced from the areas like business environment, organizational, interpersonal, and individual. So individual factors like age, income, education, status, personality, etc., attitudes, learning, motivation level. So these are all also the behavior, individual behavior that influence the affect the buying behavior. Then interpersonal is authority, status, empathy, and pursuitiveness. Then organizations also have some lot of factors that also affect the individual buyers by the way of objectives, policies, procedures, organization structures, and system. And business environment contains overall the business strategy that follow in the organization. That is also major factors influencing the industrial buyer. So level of demand, economic outlook, cost of money, rate of technological changes, and political and regularity development, and then competitive developments. These are all the major factors influencing the industrial buyer behavior. Then consumer buyer behavior. So what do you mean by consumer behavior? So it's the study of consumers and the process they use to choose or consume and dispose of products and service, including consumers emotional, mental and behavioral response. So consumer behavior is crucial for business to create effective marketing. Every marketing have the consumer behavior is very important for an effective marketing, and then only the decision making process will be easily to make the successful business. Then types of consumer behavior is complex buying behavior, dissonance reducing buying behavior, and habitual buying behavior, and variety seeking buying behavior. There are four main types of consumer behavior. Complex buying behavior. So this type of consumer buying behavior has the way they represent the expensive and they highly involved in the purchase process and the consumer research before committing to a high value investment. So imagine buying the house or a car. This was an example of complex buying behavior. Then dissonance reducing buying behavior. So here the consumer is highly involved in the purchase. So can occur when the consumer worries that they will regret their choice. So here imagine you are buying a lawn, so that price and convenience, but after the purchase you will see confirmation that you have made the right choice. So the habitual buying behavior is characterized by the consumer having very little involvement in the product or brand category. Imagine grocery shopping. You go to store and buy your preferred type of bread. So you can exhibiting the habitual pattern, not strong brand loyalty. So variety seeking is knowing that what types of customers your e-store attracts will give you a better idea about how to segment your customer types. Then influencing factors of buyer behavior. So influences of consumer behavior is internal influences and external influences. Internal influences is classified into personal factors and psychological factors. External influences classified into cultural factors and social factors. Personal factors include age, income, occupation, lifestyle, personality, etc. Then psychological is motivation, perception, learning, beliefs and attitude. Then culture factors, culture, subculture and social class. Then social factor is family, reference group and role and status. So these are all the factors that influences the consumer behavior. Then psychological factor is classified into motivation, perception, learning, beliefs and attitudes. So what do you mean by motivation? So we can know about, already we know that is what do you mean, what is the meaning of motivation. Is nothing but it is the process that drives in a person to perceive a need and pursue a course of action to fulfill that need. So it's the driving force that if it is the driving force that with individuals that implies them to action, or motivation is the activation or energization of goal oriented behavior. Then next one is perception. Perception is defined as the process by which consumer sends a marketing stimulus and organize, interrupt and provide meaning to it. So the marketing stimuli may be anything related to the product or brand and any of the elements of the marketing mix. So perception refers to how a customer feels about the company, thoughts, emotions, etc. Opinions related to the brand, products or service. So sometimes the perception may be positive or negative. So customer perception occurs when the customer interact with your brand, products or service. The third one is learning. It is also a process which continually changes and acquires new knowledge. So according to the Klautler, he defines that learning involves changes in an individual's behavior arising out of the experience. So that individuals acquire purchase and consumption knowledge and experience that they apply future related behavior. So here learning, reading, discussing, observing and thinking, etc. So here are the new acquired knowledge or personal experience both serve as a feedback. So elements of learning theories is motivation, cues, response and reinforcement. So motivation, no, cues are not strongest motives but their influence in which the consumer responds to their motives. For example, in a market, the styling, packaging, the store display prices are all serve as cues to help consumers to decide on a particular product. But this can happen only if the consumer has the motive to buy. And the response is consumer reaction to a drive or cue. Then reinforcement is increases the likelihood that a response will occur in the future as a result of a cue. Then social factors that affecting consumer behaviors are reference groups, immediate family members, relatives, and role in the society, then status in the society. So what do you mean by reference group? Reference groups are classified into two types, primary and secondary. Primary group consists of individuals one interact with on a regular basis. So here the friends, family members, relatives, co-workers are all the persons or the reference all the and influencing the buying decisions of consumer due to the following some of the reasons. Then secondary groups consist of the indirect relationship with the consumer. So here individuals do not interact with them on a regular basis. Example, religious association, political parties, clubs, etc. Then roles in the society. Each individual plays a dual role in the society depending on the group he belongs to. And social status, an individual from an upper middle class would spend on luxurious items, various an individual from middle to lower income group would buy items required for this her survival. So these are the topics we discussed in the fourth unit. Thank you.